Mike stared in disbelief at the woman standing before him. There was no mistaking those piercing blue eyes and delicate features. It was undoubtedly Ilara, his childhood neighbor. But the girl he had once known was now a breathtakingly beautiful woman, practically glowing with an otherworldly radiance. Ilara, he managed to utter, his voice barely above a whisper. Is it really you? She smiled warmly, her expression serene and confident. Yes, Mike, it's me. I know it's been a very long time. Mike's mind raced as a flood of memories came rushing back. Afternoons spent playing in the yard, staring in awe as Ilara performed feats of agility and strength that seemed impossible for a child. There had always been something different about her, something he could never quite put his finger on. What are you doing here? He asked, still struggling to process her sudden reappearance. I've come to see you, Ilara replied, her voice soft and melodic. There's something I need to tell you, something I should have shared with you long ago. Mike's heart pounded in his chest. 1,000 questions swirled in his mind, but he found himself frozen, captivated by Ilara's presence. Please come inside, he managed, stepping aside to allow her to enter. As she glided past him, Mike couldn't help but notice the fluid, almost ethereal grace of her movements. Once they were seated in his modest living room, Ilara fixed him with a piercing gaze. Mike, I know this may come as a shock, but I'm not human. I'm an alien from a world far beyond this one. Mike's eyes widened in disbelief. An alien? But how? Ilara raised a slender hand, silencing him. Let me explain. My family and I have been living among humans for centuries, observing your kind and learning about your world. We have the ability to blend in seamlessly, to the point where we are virtually indistinguishable from you. Mike stared at her, dumbfounded. So all this time, you were pretending to be human. Ilara nodded solemnly. Yes, it was necessary to maintain our secrecy. But I've come to realize that I can no longer hide who I truly am, especially from you. Mike's mind raced as he tried to make sense of this revelation. Ilara, the girl he had always found so captivating, was not human at all. She was an alien, part of a race that had been living among them in secret for generations. Why are you telling me this now? He asked, his voice tinged with a mixture of wonder and trepidation. Ilara leaned forward, her eyes shining with earnestness. Because I've been chosen to extend an invitation to you, Mike. An invitation to join our society, to experience a world beyond anything you can imagine. Mike felt his breath catch in his throat. Your society? You mean to leave Earth and go to your home planet? Ilara nodded, a warm smile spreading across her face. Yes, exactly. I've been observing you for many years, Mike, and I believe you have the potential to thrive in our world. The marvels and wonders that await you are truly beyond comprehension. Mike's head was spinning. The idea of leaving everything he knew behind, of venturing into the unknown among an alien civilization, was both exhilarating and terrifying. He had always been drawn to Ilara, to the mystery that seemed to surround her. And now she was offering him a chance to unlock that mystery, to become a part of it. I don't know what to say, he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. This is also overwhelming. Ilara reached out and gently placed her hand on his. I understand, Mike, but I believe this is an opportunity that could change your life in ways you can't even begin to imagine. Will you at least consider it? Mike looked into her captivating eyes, feeling a familiar pull that he had always felt as a child. In that moment, he knew that his life was about to take an extraordinary turn, one that would lead him on a journey beyond the bounds of his wildest dreams. Mike sat in stunned silence, his mind racing with the implications of Ilara's revelation. She was not human. She was an alien, part of a civilization that had been living secretly among them for centuries. And now she was offering him a chance to leave everything behind and join her on her home planet. "You're an alien," he finally managed to say, his voice laced with a mixture of disbelief and wonder. Ilara nodded, her expression serene. "Yes, Mike. My family and I have been living among humans, observing your world and your ways. But now I've been chosen to extend an invitation to you, to join our society and experience a life beyond your wildest dreams." Mike shook his head, struggling to wrap his mind around the idea. But how is that even possible? How could you have been living here all this time without anyone knowing? Ilara smiled, her eyes sparkling with a hint of amusement. "We have the ability to blend in seamlessly, to the point where we are virtually indistinguishable from humans. Our technology and our understanding of the universe far surpass anything your kind has achieved." Mike felt a shiver run down his spine as he contemplated the implications of her words. An advanced alien civilization, living among them in secret, it was almost too much to fathom. "So what exactly are you asking me to do?" he asked, his voice hesitant. "To just leave everything behind and go with you to your home planet." Ilara nodded, her expression earnest. "Yes, that's exactly what I'm asking you to do, Mike. I know it's a lot to take in, but I believe you have the potential to thrive in our world. The marvels and wonders that await you are truly beyond comprehension." Mike felt a sense of unease wash over him. The idea of abandoning his life on Earth and venturing into the unknown was both exhilarating and terrifying. He had always been drawn to Ilara, to the mystery that seemed to surround her, but now he was being asked to take a leap of faith that would change the course of his life forever. "But what about my life here?" he asked, his voice tinged with uncertainty. "My job, my friends, my family. Everything I've ever known." Ilara reached out and placed a reassuring hand on his arm. "I understand your hesitation, Mike. Leaving behind everything you've ever known is a daunting prospect. But I can assure you that the life that awaits you on my home planet is one of unimaginable wonder and fulfillment." She paused, her gaze fixed on his. "Just imagine it, Mike. A world where the limits of human knowledge and capability are shattered, where the mysteries of the universe are laid bare. A world where you can unlock your true potential and experience the full breadth of your abilities." Mike felt a surge of excitement at the prospect, but it was quickly tempered by a sense of trepidation. "But how can I be sure that this isn't all just some kind of trick or illusion?" Ilara smiled, a hint of amusement playing on her lips. "I understand your skepticism, Mike, but I can assure you that this is no trick." She paused, then lifted her hand, palm facing upward. Suddenly, a small sphere of light began to coalesce above her palm, hovering and pulsing with an otherworldly energy. Mike's eyes widened in awe as he watched the display, his mind struggling to comprehend the implications. "This is just a small sample of what our technology is capable of," Ilara said, her voice soft and mesmerizing. "Imagine what else we could show you, what other wonders we could unlock for you." Mike stared at the glowing sphere, his heart pounding in his chest. He knew that what he was witnessing was far beyond the realm of human capability, and the realization filled him with a sense of both wonder and trepidation. "So what do you say, Mike?" Ilara asked, her eyes shining with anticipation. "Are you ready to take the next step and join us?" Mike stared at the glowing sphere hovering above Ilara's palm, his mind reeling with the implications of what he had just witnessed. The display of technological prowess was unlike anything he had ever seen, and it served as irrefutable proof that Ilara was indeed not of this world. "This is," he began, struggling to find the words. "I mean, how is this even possible?" Ilara smiled, her expression serene. This is just a small sample of what our technology is capable of, Mike. Imagine the wonders that await you on my home planet. A world where the boundaries of human knowledge and capability are shattered. Mike felt a surge of both excitement and trepidation. The prospect of venturing into the unknown, of experiencing a reality so far beyond his wildest dreams, was exhilarating. Yet the thought of leaving everything he had ever known behind was deeply unsettling. "But what about my life here?" he asked, his voice tinged with uncertainty. "My job, my friends, my family, everything I've built for myself. How can I just walk away from all of that?" Ilara's expression softened, and she reached out to gently take his hand. "I understand your hesitation, Mike. Leaving behind everything you've ever known is a daunting prospect. But I truly believe that the life that awaits you on my home planet will be one of unparalleled fulfillment and wonder." She paused, her eyes meeting his with a profound earnestness. "The limitations of human civilization are far more constraining than you can even begin to comprehend. On my planet, you'll have the opportunity to unlock your true potential, to experience the boundless possibilities of an advanced, enlightened society." Mike felt a shiver run down his spine as he considered her words. The human world he had known his entire life suddenly seemed small and limiting in comparison to the vision Alora was painting. What exactly would this new life entail? He asked, his curiosity piqued despite his lingering reservations. Ilara's face lit up with a radiant smile. "It would mean access to technology and knowledge that would reshape your understanding of the universe. Imagine being able to travel between the stars to explore the vast mysteries of the cosmos. Imagine unlocking the full potential of your mind and body, free from the constraints of human biology." Mike's breath caught in his throat as he tried to fathom the scope of what she was describing. The idea of transcending the limitations of his human existence was both thrilling and unsettling. "But how can I be sure that this isn't all just some kind of elaborate deception?" he asked, his voice tinged with skepticism. "How do I know I can trust you and your people?" Ilara's expression grew solemn, and she squeezed his hand reassuringly. "I understand your hesitation, Mike. The prospect of leaving everything behind and venturing into the unknown is a daunting one. But I can assure you that my people have no intention of deceiving you." She paused, her eyes boring into his. "We've been observing your kind for centuries, and we've been carefully selecting individuals like you who have the potential to thrive in our society. You, Mike, have caught our attention for a reason." Mike felt a surge of both excitement and trepidation. The idea that he had been singled out by an advanced alien civilization was both humbling and intriguing. But the weight of the decision he was being asked to make was overwhelming. "What if I say no?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Ilara's expression softened, and she gave him a gentle smile. "Then I will respect your decision, Mike. I won't force you to come with me. But I truly believe that this is an opportunity that could change the course of your life in ways you can't even begin to imagine." Mike fell silent, his mind racing as he tried to weigh the implications of Ilara's offer. The world he had known his entire life suddenly seemed small and limiting in comparison to the boundless possibilities she was describing. And the allure of unlocking his true potential was undeniable. But the thought of leaving everything behind was still a terrifying prospect. Could he really abandon his life on Earth and venture into the unknown? Mike sat in stunned silence, his mind reeling from Ilara's extraordinary revelations. The idea that she was not human, but rather an alien from a highly advanced civilization, was almost too much for him to comprehend. And now she was offering him the chance to leave everything behind and join her on this intriguing journey to the stars. "This is also overwhelming," he finally managed to say, his voice heavy with a mixture of wonder and trepidation. Elara nodded, her expression empathetic. I know, Mike. Stepping into the unknown is never an easy decision. But I truly believe that the life that awaits you on my home planet is one of unparalleled fulfillment and wonder. Mike shifted uncomfortably in his seat, his gaze drifting to the glowing sphere hovering above Elara's palm. The sheer technological prowess on display was unlike anything he had ever witnessed, and it was a stark reminder of the vast gulf between human capabilities and the civilization Elara belonged to. But what about my life here? He asked, his voice tinged with uncertainty. My job, my friends, my family, everything I've ever known. How can I just walk away from all of that? Elara leaned forward, her eyes shining with sincerity. I understand your hesitation, Mike. Leaving behind the familiar is always a daunting prospect. But I can assure you that the limitations of human civilization are far more constraining than you can even begin to imagine. She paused, her gaze unwavering. On my home planet, you'll have the opportunity to unlock your true potential, to experience the boundless possibilities of an advanced, enlightened society. The marvels and wonders that await you are truly beyond comprehension. Mike felt a shiver run down his spine as he considered her words. The world he had known his entire life suddenly seemed small and limiting in comparison to the vision Elara was painting. The prospect of venturing into the unknown, of experiencing a reality so far beyond the bounds of human knowledge, was both exhilarating and terrifying. But how can I be sure that this isn't all just some kind of trick or illusion? He asked, his voice tinged with skepticism. How do I know I can trust you and your people? Elara's expression grew solemn, and she reached out to gently take his hand. I understand your reservations, Mike. The idea of leaving everything behind and placing your trust in an alien civilization is a daunting one. But I can assure you that my people have no intention of deceiving you. She paused, her eyes searching his. We've been observing your kind for centuries, and we've been carefully selecting individuals like you who have the potential to thrive in our society. You, Mike, have caught our attention for a reason. Mike felt a surge of both excitement and unease. The idea that he had been singled out by an advanced alien civilization was both humbling and disconcerting. But the allure of unlocking his true potential was undeniable. What if I say no? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Elara gave him a wistful smile. Then I will respect your decision, Mike. I won't force you to come with me. But I truly believe that this is an opportunity that could change the course of your life in ways you can't even begin to imagine. Mike fell silent, his mind racing as he tried to weigh the implications of Elara's offer. The world he had known his entire life suddenly seemed small and limiting in comparison to the boundless possibilities she was describing. And the prospect of transcending the constraints of human existence was both thrilling and unsettling. But the thought of leaving everything behind was still a terrifying prospect. Could he really abandon his life on Earth and venture into the unknown, no matter how alluring it might be? Mike took a deep breath, his heart pounding in his chest. The decision he was about to make would undoubtedly shape the course of his life forever. But as he looked into Elara's captivating eyes, he knew that he couldn't ignore the pull of the unknown any longer. After much deliberation, Mike had made his decision. The prospect of leaving behind everything he had ever known was daunting, but the allure of the unknown was simply too strong to resist. And so, with a mixture of excitement and trepidation, he had agreed to accompany Elara to her alien homeworld, embarking on a journey that would take him far beyond the boundaries of human experience. As they stood on the threshold of Elara's spacecraft, Mike couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and apprehension. The sleek, otherworldly design of the vessel was a stark contrast to the familiar trappings of his old life, a tangible reminder of the profound leap he was about to take. "Are you ready, Mike?" Elara asked, her voice soft and soothing. Mike took a deep breath, steeling himself for the journey ahead. "As ready as I'll ever be, I suppose," he replied, his voice tinged with a hint of uncertainty. Elara gave him a reassuring smile and gently guided him into the spacecraft's interior. As they stepped through the threshold, Mike felt a subtle shift in the air, a subtle hum of energy that seemed to envelop him. The inside of the craft was unlike anything he had ever seen. The walls were lined with glowing panels and intricate displays, their purpose beyond his comprehension. In the center of the room, a large translucent platform stood, its surface shimmering with an ethereal light. "This is the main navigation and control area," Elara explained, gesturing towards the platform. "From here, we'll be able to pilot the craft and monitor our progress through the vastness of space." Mike's eyes widened as he took in the sight, his mind struggling to process the sheer technological complexity of the alien vessel. "How does it all work?" he asked, his curiosity piqued. Elara smiled, her eyes sparkling with amusement. "In time, you'll come to understand the inner workings of our technology, Mike. But for now, just focus on the journey ahead." She gestured towards a series of cushioned seats along the wall. "Please make yourself comfortable. The initial phase of our trip will take some time, but the wonders that await us on the other side will be well worth the wait." Mike nodded and took a seat, his mind racing with 1,000 questions. As Elara moved to the central platform and began manipulating the controls, a low hum filled the air, and Mike felt a subtle shift in the craft's movements. Peering out through the large viewport, he watched in awe as the familiar landscape of his home planet began to recede, the curvature of the Earth slowly vanishing into the distance. Beneath them, the vast expanse of the cosmos stretched out in a dazzling display of stars and galaxies, a sight that utterly dwarfed anything he had ever experienced on Earth. "This is just the beginning, Mike," Elara said, her voice filled with a sense of wonder. "The universe is a vast and wondrous place, and we're about to explore it like never before." Mike felt a surge of excitement and trepidation. The sheer scale of what lay before him was almost too much to comprehend. He had always known that the universe was vast and mysterious, but now, as he hurtled through the cosmos aboard an alien spacecraft, the true scope of human limitations became painfully clear. "How long will the journey take?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Depending on the route we take and the speed of our craft, it could be several days before we reach our destination," Elara replied. "But the time will pass quickly, I assure you. There's so much for you to see and learn along the way." Mike nodded, his gaze fixed on the mesmerizing display of stars and galaxies outside the viewport. As the familiar confines of his home world faded into the distance, he felt a strange mix of emotions, a sense of loss and nostalgia, but also a growing anticipation for the wonders that lay ahead. This was it, the moment of no return. He was embarking on a journey that would take him to the farthest reaches of the known universe, and he had no idea what awaited him on the other side. As the spacecraft hurtled through the vast expanse of space, Mike found himself utterly transfixed by the dazzling display unfolding before his eyes. The seemingly endless sea of stars and galaxies, stretching out in all directions, was a sight that defied all the boundaries of his previous understanding. Elara had been right. The true scope of the universe was beyond anything he could have imagined from the confines of his life on Earth. And now, as he was whisked away to a world beyond his wildest dreams, he felt a growing sense of both wonder and trepidation. "It's also incredible," he breathed, his eyes wide with awe. Elara smiled, her expression serene. "And this is just the beginning, Mike. Wait until you see the marvels that await us on my home world." Mike nodded, his mind racing with 1,000 questions. What did this alien civilization look like? How would he be received as a human outsider? The uncertainty of it all was both thrilling and unsettling. As the spacecraft continued its journey, Elara began to explain more about her planet and the society he was about to enter. She spoke of a world of unparalleled beauty and technological sophistication, where the limits of human knowledge and capability were shattered. "Our people have spent centuries perfecting the arts of science, philosophy, and culture," she said, her voice filled with a sense of pride. "We've unlocked the secrets of the universe and harnessed the power of the cosmos in ways you can scarcely imagine." Mike listened, his mind struggling to comprehend the magnitude of what she was describing. The idea of a civilization so vastly advanced beyond humanity was both exhilarating and humbling. "But how will I be received?" he asked, his voice tinged with uncertainty. "As a human, I'm sure I'll stand out. What if they don't accept me?" Elara reached out and placed a reassuring hand on his arm. "Mike, you needn't worry. Our people have been observing your kind for centuries, and we've carefully selected you as someone with the potential to thrive in our society." She paused, her eyes shining with warmth. "You will be welcomed with open arms, I can assure you. Our civilization is one of inclusivity and acceptance, where the diversity of the universe is celebrated." Mike felt a surge of relief, but also a sense of trepidation. The idea of being accepted and embraced by an alien civilization was both comforting and unsettling. He had spent his entire life among his own kind, and the prospect of navigating a new reality was both thrilling and daunting. As the spacecraft continued its journey, Elara began to describe the wonders that awaited them on her home world. She spoke of soaring cities, where towering structures of gleaming metal and glass seemed to defy the laws of physics. She described lush, verdant landscapes, where exotic flora and fauna thrived in a harmonious balance. And then there were the people themselves, a race of beings whose physical beauty and grace were utterly captivating. Elara described their striking features, their piercing eyes, and the fluid, almost ethereal quality of their movements. "You'll find that our people are not only technologically advanced, but also deeply attuned to the arts, philosophy, and the exploration of the self," she said, her voice brimming with enthusiasm. Mike felt a sense of both excitement and trepidation. The world Elara was describing was so vastly different from anything he had ever known, and he couldn't help but wonder how he would fit in. As the spacecraft hurtled through the cosmos, Mike found himself constantly peering out the viewport, his eyes drinking in the dazzling display of stars and galaxies. It was a sight that utterly dwarfed anything he had ever witnessed on Earth, a true testament to the grand scale of the universe. And now he was on the precipice of a new reality, one that promised to redefine the very boundaries of his existence. As the spacecraft began to slow, Elara turned to him with a radiant smile. "Welcome, Mike, to my home." As the spacecraft descended towards Elara's homeworld, Mike found himself utterly captivated by the sight that unfolded before his eyes. The planet was a vision of breathtaking beauty, a tapestry of lush, verdant landscapes and towering, gleaming cities that seemed to defy the constraints of human architecture. Mike's heart raced with a mixture of excitement and trepidation as the craft glided gracefully through the planet's atmosphere, eventually touching down in what appeared to be a bustling metropolis. The buildings that surrounded them were unlike anything he had ever seen, their sleek, organic forms and shimmering surfaces suggesting a level of technological sophistication that was almost incomprehensible. "Welcome to Astra," Elara said, her voice filled with a sense of pride. This is the capital city of our world, and where our most advanced civilization is centered. Mike stepped out of the craft, his eyes wide with awe as he took in the sights and sounds of this alien world. The air was filled with a subtle hum of energy, and the people who moved about the city possessed a level of grace and poise that was truly captivating. "They're so beautiful," Mike murmured, unable to take his eyes off the towering, ethereal figures that seemed to glide effortlessly through the streets. Ilara smiled, her expression warm and inviting. "Yes, our people possess a natural elegance and beauty that is the result of centuries of refinement and evolution. But their true wonders lie not just in their physical form, but in the depth of their minds and the richness of their culture." She gestured towards a group of individuals who were gathered in a nearby plaza, their hands moving in intricate, fluid motions as they engaged in what appeared to be a deep and thoughtful discussion. "Look closely, Mike. You'll see that their interactions are not merely surface level, but rather a profound exploration of the nature of existence, the mysteries of the cosmos, and the pursuit of enlightenment." Mike felt a sense of wonder and trepidation as he observed the scene, his mind struggling to comprehend the sheer depth and complexity of the alien civilization that surrounded him. It was a far cry from the often superficial and materialistic nature of human society, and he couldn't help but feel a growing sense of humility and curiosity. As Ilara guided him through the bustling streets, Mike found himself captivated by the sights and sounds that assaulted his senses. Elegant spires of gleaming metal and glass pierced the sky, their forms seemingly defying the laws of physics. Hovering vehicles glided effortlessly through the air, their movements smooth and silent. And the people themselves, with their striking features and graceful bearing, exuded an aura of confidence and serenity that was truly mesmerizing. "How is all of this possible?" Mike asked, his voice tinged with a mixture of wonder and disbelief. Ilara smiled, her eyes shining with a sense of pride. "It is the result of centuries of dedication and the pursuit of knowledge, Mike. Our people have unlocked the secrets of the universe, mastering the very forces that govern the cosmos itself." She paused, her gaze meeting his with a profound sincerity. "And now, as a member of our civilization, you will have the opportunity to explore and understand these wonders for yourself. The possibilities that await you are truly limitless." Mike felt a shiver of excitement run down his spine. The prospect of unlocking the mysteries of this alien world, of expanding the boundaries of his own understanding, was both thrilling and humbling. And as he walked alongside Ilara, feeling the warm glow of her presence, he couldn't help but feel a growing sense of belonging and purpose. This was no longer just a strange and foreign land to him. It was a place that held the promise of a future beyond anything he could have imagined, a future where the limitations of his human existence could be transcended. As Mike immersed himself in the wonders of Ilara's alien world, he found himself utterly transformed. The limitations and constraints of his human existence seemed to melt away, replaced by a sense of boundless possibility and profound understanding. Under the guidance of Ilara and her people, Mike's mind had been opened to a vast tapestry of knowledge and insight that defied anything he had ever encountered on Earth. The technological marvels that surrounded him were mere reflections of the depth and complexity of this advanced civilization, a testament to their mastery of the fundamental forces that govern the universe. But beyond the sheer technological prowess, Mike found himself captivated by the rich cultural and philosophical traditions of the alien society. He marveled at the way they approached the exploration of the self and the nature of existence, delving into realms of introspection and contemplation that seemed almost foreign to the human experience. As he walked the bustling streets of the gleaming city, conversing with the enigmatic and graceful inhabitants, Mike felt a profound sense of belonging and purpose that he had never known before. These people, with their keen intellect and profound wisdom, welcomed him with open arms, treating him not as an outsider, but as a kindred spirit on a shared journey of discovery. And with Alara by his side, guiding him through this wondrous new reality, Mike found himself irrevocably drawn to the promise of a future beyond the confines of his former life. The limitations of human civilization, which had once seemed so vast and overwhelming, now paled in comparison to the boundless potential that lay before him. In time, Mike's mastery of the alien technology and his understanding of the underlying principles that governed this world grew exponentially. He found himself delving deeper into the mysteries of the cosmos, unlocking secrets that had eluded humanity for centuries. And with each new discovery, he felt a growing sense of awe and humility, a profound realization of the true scope and grandeur of the universe. But it was not just the intellectual and technological advancements that captivated him. The alien society's approach to art, culture, and the pursuit of personal growth and enlightenment resonated with him on a profoundly deep level. He found himself drawn to the intricate, ethereal forms of their architecture, the mesmerizing rhythms of their music, and the rich tapestry of philosophical and spiritual traditions that underpinned every aspect of their lives. As the days turned into weeks and months, Mike's transformation was complete. The once humble human had become a fully integrated member of the advanced alien civilization, his identity and sense of self irrevocably intertwined with the wonders that surrounded him. And in that moment, as he stood amidst the towering spires of the gleaming city, Mike knew that he had found his true home. The limitations of his former life on Earth had been shattered, replaced by a reality that was beyond his wildest dreams. "I never thought I'd feel this way," he said to Ilara, his voice filled with a sense of wonder and contentment. "But this place, this life, it's everything I never knew I needed." Ilara smiled, her eyes shining with a profound understanding. "I knew you would find your place here, Mike. Your potential, your thirst for knowledge and discovery, it's a perfect match for our civilization." She reached out and gently took his hand, her touch warm and reassuring. "Welcome home, my friend. The journey is just beginning, and the wonders that await us are limitless." Mike squeezed her hand, his heart swelling with a sense of belonging and purpose. In that moment, the once humble human knew that he had truly found his place in the universe, a path that would lead him to unimaginable heights of discovery and fulfillment. As he gazed out over the stunning cityscape, Mike felt a deep sense of gratitude and wonder. The decision he had made to leave his old life behind had been the most momentous of his existence, and he knew that he would never look back. This was his new reality, a world of boundless potential and profound enlightenment, and he couldn't wait to see what the future had in store.